blessed Friday evening to you and welcome to the Feminine Drive. How are you this evening? How are you this Friday? Blessings. Before I go any further, it might be a good Friday evening for us here in Trinidad and Tobago, but I think we all know what is taking place with our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent. So on behalf of the Gael family, our prayers, our sincere prayers goes out to you. You know, I can't say I could imagine what they are going through. I don't think I could imagine. You know, I was at home today and I say, you know, when a little hot water or steam come too close so you get a little burn, how that will be so painful. And you're watching this red mountain top. Like I can't even conceptualize the dangers, you know. I don't think I could really understand the fear and the danger that the people of St. Vincent are facing today. Their lives are at risk. So again, on behalf of the Gael family, and I think I could safely say, on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago, our prayers goes out to the people of St. Vincent. May the hand of the divine maker spare them. Spare them. So, welcome to the first of 5 Fridays, first in our series, Men and Their Mothers. Yes? So, you know, Mother's Day is a big thing, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but all over the world. Since I growing up, Mother's Day is always a big thing. Men just say, oh, they don't care about man. Father's Day just pass like nobody's business. And it has been a big bacchanal for Mother's Day. Well, I can't change the world. I born and meted so, as they would say. You know, everybody, mommy, mommy. Big thing for Mother's Day. So I said, you know what? I want to hear it from the men. Let me hear it from the side of the men. How they feel about mothers. You know, the relationship they have with their mothers. Are you a mommy's boy or not? Yeah? So, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. We're going to take the commercial break on the top because when we come back, we're running down the road with my handsome guest. So, share the program, make that phone call, WhatsApp your friend, let them know the Feminine Drive is on. We're going to go for a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. So welcome back. Welcome back inside the Feminine Drive. And we are here this evening with the handsome Robert Young. Listen, how are you this evening?
Good night. I'm good.
Don't buff me. All you get buff. I interfere with you Friday on Warrior. And well, I tell him I really appreciate that he could take time from his Friday to come to be with me on the Feminine Drive.
Yeah, good evening. Good night.
I really, really appreciate you.
Okay.
Yes? So, Robert, we're talking about Mother's Day is coming up.
All right.
As you heard me there.
The commercial celebration of that.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, all right. I like that slant you're going one time. The commercial celebration. But you know what? There are some things we met. Right? We ain't looking to change it. You have a choice whether to partake or not. But we made the thing so.
Yeah.
So, mothers, I want to hear from your side, you know, the role of a mother, how you see the role of a mother, not just in the home, but expand it a bit,
Well,
community-wise.
I would like to expand it immediately as you talk about St. Vincent. We live in the universe. We live on this earth. We live on something that cares for us in some way, and we have to care for it. I think those are the elements I could call it reproductive care.
Right.
Right? That got assigned to women. Right? And men are pushed away from having to do that. So the role that women get in the society is a role that women have gotten, and some women are removing themselves from that, of taking care of that. So in our house, Mother's Day is big, but not particularly a significant thing. Because my mother, I don't know if it's that a mother's supposed to push it, but it's something that happens. But it just doesn't. It is not
a big thing.
It's not a big
thing.
A big fuss, because it is a continuous.
You have to honor your mother every day. Yes.
Relationship with the person. The first person I saw is my mother.
Okay.
The first person I saw, and I think we don't remember that. Some of us can't remember that. But I know, even if I remember it or not, the first person I saw and possibly fell in love with was my mother.
I like that. You said something that earlier on. You talk about women being entrusted with to care. And you said some women removing themselves from that. You want to expand on that a little bit?
You could do that a little later on, but the reproductive care business, because a lot of women in the beginning, and a lot of like black women or women who were involved in who had the responsibility of caring for other people's children, became a job.
Of course.
An unpaid job, but a lot of times. So like what happened in Venezuela, women got back pay from the Chavez regime for bringing people to the society for work.
Is that right?
Yeah, they got back pay. But the thing is, what job a woman have in a capitalist sense is that you do the work of trying to bring up the right kind of citizen to serve capital.
Oh, so it was a specific function.
Yeah, that's what
society.
In our societies now, we kind of the responsibilities that women get, and they blame sometimes about not being able to care enough for, and the job of bringing up a young person.
You're correct. You're very correct, because if somebody, you would hear it's being said all the time. You're misbehaving. You hear people say, "Well, your mother in training, or what?"
Right.
You hardly hear your father in training.
So it's a big responsibility of a single person.
Even though there were two in the home.
Oh no. We live in the universe. We live in our earth. We live with other people. We live in community.
Well,
and what capitalism has done, which is responsible for things like the extraction. So labor, we were extracted from labor as black people and women. So the things are considered nature. Nature, what you extract from. So if you go in the mountains, you're in nature, and we're not in nature here. This sea, right? But we are in nature. But and everything in here is built from nature, which is from our mother, the earth.
Right. I understand. Where I went from the beginning.
Right.
Yes, I understand.
But the thing is, you could extract from nature freely. But who else is considered nature? Close to nature, women, black people.
We reproduce.
Right? Black people, anybody who not considered white or male, things that you could extract from freely without compensation or even tax nearly.
Real interesting conversation. I like where you're going.
Right.
But I want to bend your back
and
keep you right there in terms of, as I said, the mothers. Now, you said in your home, Mother's Day wasn't a big thing because you all understood, apparently, from a young age, Mommy is it in the home. We have to honor her. We have to, every day is Mother's Day.
My mother worked differently. My mother is, I didn't say she's not like other mothers.
Right.
And my mother helped found the UE Credit Union.
She helped found the
UE Credit Union.
Okay, fantastic.
She helped found the UE Trade Union, right? When I was about 4 years or 5 years old, my mother was running the Kira Development Committee. She was assistant secretary of the Mothers Union at the country she goes to. She was always involved in organizing. Always involved in organizing, and also involved in organizing. If there was a strike, she in the front line.
Your mother in the front line.
And also that meant we weren't, because my father was a trade unionist, Julian, who couldn't do what he did and be a father present. So we really grew up in a single home, right? And my mother, as I was saying, talking to her before yesterday, actually, I'm in a business that my family on both sides did.
Right.
I only found out that my grandmother was a seamstress tailor who would go to people's house and make
clothes.
Yeah, Sylvia Hunt was my father's family.
Okay. Sylvia Hunt.
My mother's father's family.
You remember Sylvia Hunt?
Yeah, my mother's father's family. But there are a lot of other aunties and things that were making clothes, and even my great grandmother on my father's side was a shirt maker, seamstress, who went to New York and work.
So this thing in your blood, man?
It's somewhere there.
Right. You say it's somewhere.
But the thing is, so with that kind of saying that the society is not caring enough for our family, we then took that risk public and the activity public of changing the space.
Right.
So it wasn't like I will see about my children alone, right?
Right.
I am maybe a mother for
the neighbor's children as well.
the society.
Of course.
And trying to change things in the around compensation, around treatment as a worker, of how to save. Because my mother even set up a thing called Designers and Producers Cooperative that never really come off the ground. Trying to see, because I got into this and she said she would set up that as a way for sharing of resources and sharing of money with
less fortunate.
With people who are in the design business.
Okay. Oh,
right, but that
okay.
never really
came off the ground.
But
Robert, you said no. I know your age.
I'm 56.
You know some people is be so think to say age. Look at that, you just jump out with that.
56? I will be 56 once. Well, 56 this year, tomorrow, next year in October. I'll be 57, but I was the other ages before.
I know that what I'm saying is sometimes people are so tight with their age.
The planet is 30 billion years old. The universe, the planet.
So you're proud to be 56.
Right,
I like that.
Been in school part of time in this.
Yes, temporary home. You know, so we are around the same age bracket in the sense that.
So you're going to age?
I think everybody on Facebook know I'm 54.
Right, okay.
Yes?
Right, okay, right.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, so we grew up where taking care of your mother, right? Going outside the parameters of the home to take care of the neighbors' children or the community children. That is nothing strange to us. We know that.
But she did it in certain organization.
Right, doing it in organizations, doing it in the community, that was nothing strange to us. Even our grandparents. I remember seeing my grandmother always taking in people. So that's a normal thing. So I'm hearing you saying that your mother was very involved.
Grace Young. Grace Young or Grace Coggin?
What's her name? Grace.
Grace.
Which one we go use? Young or?
Well, I like to. I'll do it because Young is my father's name. Who wasn't there. So she's Grace Coggin. And her sister was Jean Coggins.
So we go use Coggins.
You know Jean Coggins, the dancer, right?
I heard of her.
Oh, you yes. You're 54, you might know.
Well, I'm going to put Robert off. Yes. But, so because of how busy you know your mother to be, as you said, she couldn't be that available in the home.
She was available, but so I was thinking with it this morning. To notice the beautiful things and the connection with my mother, I have to also notice the difficult things about her life and the relationship with my father.
Right.
And some of us don't want to notice that.
But we had to notice that.
We don't want to notice the difficult things. Or we can't even notice the precious things. Because if you notice the precious things, you have to notice the hard places.
Yeah, because that would have brought you to the comfortable stage now.
Right. So if you notice the tenderness, you work out the difficult things and you're upset because the person that cared for you, but the person was brutal to you in care. So the beater, the buffer, all the things, the persons that you thought let a breeze pass and they blow them away and they never come back when you were young and they hit you, right? That might have been your thoughts, right?
Right.
I hear somebody say, the mother of family millionaires who made a truck run through the house and run over. But that was a 5-year-old child thinking that.
Right.
Right?
And
Or
that's the
10-year-old.
thoughts of a child.
Yeah, child. But those are the thoughts that you have as a person, kind of like trying to figure out things. So that violence is part of our structure.
Yes.
And we get a couch as care.
Not now though. They wouldn't embrace that.
No, I say we got a couch as care. I don't see the mistreatment of beating. My mother stopped beating. She used to beat and she stopped. She said it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense after
Like you all weren't listening.
She said she just put up a big sign, and the worst thing to hear is you would think, or to be called absent-minded. That was always my thing, which I felt very uncomfortable with.
Oh, so she stopped. No, but for her to, parents long time. If our parents say, see me, I fed up be that child, it's because it's working.
No, but
it's still being naughty.
Licks never works. You get beaten.
Never work on Robert.
No, never works because you get beaten into submission to say it works. For you to accept violence as care.
And you call it violence?
Yes, it's violence because there is these same young people who we see didn't get licks, but I don't think they didn't get licks. They got mistreated in some way, either not cared for enough, because they didn't get hugged enough, so there is a kind of, because if we are cared for enough, what happening in the society wouldn't be happening now.
True.
But also what has happened is giving the responsibility of the sole one person to do this work.
I think so. It's supposed to be shared.
Shared, not only with a man, with the community.
Yeah, so when I say shared,
a village is a child.
So shared doesn't mean, as you said, with the father of the child. It's supposed to be the aunties, the cousins, the community.
But we have, especially at a time like this, I don't know how people are going to figure out this, because in these people, our memory now with COVID, this isolation and having to figure out things alone, Nelly.
Well,
it's hard.
Yes, but it is what it is.
Imagine getting your work, because you had a breathing space of letting your young people go to school for 8 hours or 10 hours.
Right, and there's no, that socializing element is not there.
So it's not only socializing, somebody has taken the responsibility of care. A teacher that the government might have provided the service for.
And it's not even hands-on, it's virtual now. So
right, so there's attention deficit disorder. But whatever that is, will be a big thing, because you have nobody to, the computer will care for you, the computer give you attention.
Yeah, but we're going back to the mothers again. So listen, it is what it is. It's not just in Trinidad and Tobago.
No, but
the world has changed. They're home. My son, hold on. Mm-hmm. My son lives in the US. He goes to school there, and he not physically in school.
Right.
He home.
Right.
He have to do his work virtually. I am saying.
But what your son is?
He's 27.
Right. Okay.
No, but we're dealing with students on the
road.
Where are their parents? Where are their mothers?
No, the 3-year-old and the 5-year-olds are talking about the and this time now having somebody, a mother who possibly has to work on this society doesn't set up. This society is not like how what Cuba
well, we can say developed countries.
No. But there are things that we have to change. I can remember some trade unions talking about setting up care for young people, even if you're not employable, not employed in a trade and being a member of the trade union, that the society will organize itself and demands that the government should set up some kind of care so women can have some breathing
sufficient
space.
time and space. And
attention, because if your attention is to think about these people as a sole responsibility, the first response will be both beat, denial of attention.
But what I'm saying, Robert, okay, so we could talk about that, and that's a topic we could beat out.
Right, okay.
And we may not even find the solutions, or we'll have a lot of suggestions. The point is, back then, we grew up with licks. All right, it's violence.
Which is connected to
I ain't arguing with you,
history,
but listen what I'm saying.
Our history.
All of that. Your mother, you said she stopped at a while, and she said, "Listen, this licks ain't working."
No, she just also said it wasn't. I think she said it was damaging. She
said it was damaging.
Yeah.
And what did she use then that she found was effective? How many of you in the family, by the way, siblings? It's four?
Four in by my mother.
Okay.
So Richard, myself, Risha and Rodney.
Okay.
You would know Risha and Rodney because they're outside of Trinidad since 33 years now.
Okay. all right.
years. 30, my sister's 33 and my younger brother is 30.
Right.
Gone. They live in the States.
Right.
Live in London, England.
So basically it was just you and...
But we moved a lot as young people. We moved, my mother was born in Garden Street in Woodbrook.
Woodbrook.
Then moved when her father died. They kind of downgrade in the lifestyle. They moved to Belmont. So they moved to Casablanca. They just behind my shop. There, they lived in a small house, a 2-bedroom house. I think her brother to come out of QRC to go to work immediately when
he couldn't finish school.
Because I think her father died at 5, right? And then she moved, when she got married, she moved into North Street, just up the street here. And then we moved around Korea plenty. Went to a big house with some kind of support system like house help. Then my father developed the trade union in 1964. He kind of disappeared. And then downgrade, we kind of moved places, must see harassment as a woman living with 3 children, because it was living Rachel, me and Richard. And Rodney came in about 72 years born. We were living in Agasini Street. And then we moved to Tanapuna. And then at 73 we moved into Maracas, St. Joseph.
And that's where
we
you
are
have
still,
been, right. So,
but as a soul woman who...
And I must applaud your mother because, I mean, well, I couldn't know the history of your mom before, and I'm happy that Robert has shared
She was
us.
just a typist in UE, but also a typist who would switch on the employer quick strike. Much time my mother was on strike, it could be long, but 1 month strike, UE strike, cut down police, get arrested, had to...
Your mother wasn't easy?
Yeah.
Your mother was a warrior? Is a warrior?
She was, but cut down police because the police tried to not get them on campus. Because that's the UE was always on strike. So UE now settled down. They have been on strike
a lot was done for it to reach where it is today.
Yeah.
So, I still want to get from you,
ask me the question.
in terms of your upbringing with mom, what
are
the things that she did that you remember that got you all in line, as we'll say, have you all in check? Because this is a single mother here. This is a single parent.
Right.
2 boys and a girl.
Right, and then my younger brother. So
right.
Time reach America, he was born.
So what are the things that you remember that your mother did in the home to keep you all in check? Because I tell people, bringing up boys different as a woman alone.
I don't know, say for instance, when this cut happened, we were playing inside, my mother was talking politics outside. In the porch, somebody came visit because she was involved in, I used to go to the Bad Poet business, doing poetry in Belmont Community Center, and I 6-7 hours in something there, right? I don't know, because she was also brought up by a single mother,
right?
Because her husband died. It's just that
she must have been
kind of a sternness. I remember I was a trickster because it was so stern.
You was a what?
A trickster. Because I went to junior sec. The only one who went to
Belmont?
Sec. No, QF junior sec and St. Joseph and senior comprehensive and then Toko composite.
But them junior sec are a long time, boy.
Right. St. Junior sec, 72.
Richard say Robert say he was a trickster, yes?
A trickster, but not a kind of trickster that so.
What kind of a trickster is a trickster?
The trickster was like, the school is so bad they don't have student parent teachers meeting. And they kind of believe that. So my mother never went to school to find out what was happening.
She never?
Because I lied and then when the paper came, you need to see, I wouldn't carry that home because I didn't want to know I was doing so bad in school. So I never,
She bought that story, right?
Because they expected junior sex to possibly not be functional.
True.
Right? So
to be honest, back then, yes.
My brother Richard went to Trinity, my younger brother went QRC, and my sister refused to go to junior sex, so she repeated common entrance.
Right.
Right? So I do it because we had I used to talk about socialism and communism with my mother. At 7, my mother would say things like, if I have to do this to win money, she would say I wouldn't do that to win money, just like that. She was always a person of deep integrity.
Integrity.
So there were ways that she held a thing like, so in the morning was hard. She will get up and she will cook lunch in the morning, cook dinner or lunch in the morning before we go to work. So you had a pea, sweet potato or sweet thing and make a potato salad, and you might eat that for breakfast.
Right.
Stew chicken and all that, and then you carry breakfast to school, like a sandwich, and then you come home and you get something else, right, to eat. And they would come home later, so she will have union meetings or credit union meetings. But I was in junior secondary, reaching home 12 o'clock.
Oh, you was a morning shift?
A morning shift.
You all remember that? Morning and evening shift in the junior sex? You all remember that for persons who went junior sex? Morning and evening shift. Well, I don't think, no, they didn't have that again. They convert all the junior secondary to
because all these schools I went to don't exist anymore.
No, they don't exist.
QF Junior Sec is now St. Augustine Junior Secondary. St. Augustine Senior Comprehensive is now St. Augustine Secondary.
It's now secondary, they convert everything. Don't forget, the fifth mother to call in will win a gift item from the cloth. If you don't call in, I would get a gift item. So, the fifth mother to call in wins a gift item. I think, listening to you and your mother's background, because of the type of woman, well, I wouldn't say was, still is. As you said,
she's 87.
87.
Yeah.
Blessings. Because of who she was back then, that had you all in a certain order in the home.
Yeah, because she took risks. It's like a different kind of risk. So the community, I remember.
She was firm.
I remember Shelzando playing pan in our yard.
Shelzando, that is now by Kirep?
No, that is Fazata.
Shelzando, that's the one high up.
That's the one. Yeah, one in Kirep is Shelzando.
Right.
And Fazata came out of Shelzando. But Fazata came out of, and Birdsong came out of, Shelzando.
Okay.
So it's all from Fazata. From Shelzando. But Shelzando, then Fazata. And Birdsong was a UWE steel band. Came out of UWE and is back in UWE again. But
they used to play pan, you said, in your yard.
They played in our yard once as something she did, right? But she was supportive. I remember my brother say he had a QREP thing and he had some kind of group, and he wanted to have a party, stick the rent money and give the money to buy the party, and the party bust bad. Nobody came. Nobody. But this is a 14-year-old having a party for the community, Richard, and nobody came. So we had to set up a shop with the things for the party and take more money to see if you can make money to pay the rent. And the shop didn't work neither. And
where was mommy and all of this now?
She was just supporting it, enterprise, and supporting it. So then after somehow, I remember. And it's my story, version of the story. Some family came and they went in the shop and they eat everything out, and that was the end of that. And the debt was forgiven. Right?
By mommy.
Yeah,
of course.
By my mother. But she was supportive. Richard is Richard.
Right.
My mother, when I started my business, the living room was the studio for the first week. The whole studio and the yard and thing was drying clothes and people we didn't know was in the house. So she always gave space. She never talked to me and say, where you want to be.
She just allowed you.
Just allowed space.
Yes.
Allowed. She just allowed.
And she would support your venture.
Allowed space. Allowed space. Possibly she should have lent you money later and she did that. But yeah, she gave money and she gave money if she could have. And she took risks. She never said you couldn't.
I love that.
Never. My mother never said, no, you can't.
She never.
She might say, you can't go to a P&M fete.
Don't put me in a bacchanal on the show, right? Please. Buy Robert coming up.
because I remember we wanted to go to, but Youth Quake was something, so and we didn't go, and Youth Quake didn't happen. But
I remember Youth Quake.
But somebody there and that, the people pushed around the
yes.
gate and somebody got crashed, and luckily we didn't go. Right? That was the attempt for P&M to win in 86.
Robert, this is not a political. Why Robert talking politics on the feminine drive?
But what I know about my mother, when the P&M passing, she's by the road, screaming. What kind of foolishness is this? Because the last time she voted P&M was 1966. Because she was running a party group in
But what this man trying to do, I go put Robert Office
she was running a party group in Belmont, and then she said this independence business is not working with this party, and so she went.
Right. So let me go to our next subject now, because you see you, like you trying to get me out of Guyana.
Right. Okay. Right.
You know, we have this notion, mommy's boy.
Right.
Women always, and I don't want to be, let me be truthful. I too would have accused some goodly gentleman of being a mommy's boy, right? And the blame comes when you're into a relationship, of course. And the woman that you're with, your wife or whatever, would find, listen, I find mommy getting too much attention. And you know, some people use the term loosely. These are mommies, but everything is mommy.
No, that's not so with me. I don't know. My sister and brother, even up to now, they will.
I want to talk about you because I'm
check,
sure you would have been in
they
relationship.
will
Why
check,
you shifting it
they
to
will
your
check
brother?
me. I will even like if I the other day I drop my mother to her sister. I reach there, you drop her. If she reach, and I get managed from London for my sister. And I get managed from Richard, like if I'm supposed to be the absent-minded one, possibly. And it sent me crazy because they are checking, like you can't do nothing. I'm the middle child, so the middle one not supposed to know nothing. And kind of like, right?
Remember that is mommy, eh?
But no, they're not, we none of us
have you been accused of that being in a relationship?
Never. Maybe once or twice she say, I don't think I like that person, but she never liked that woman and never said
you can't be with the person.
Never said that.
She was not that.
Never said that. Maybe only recent with some kind of, but we're not going there.
No, we ain't going. I ain't want to call nobody name. I'm sure you know.
Because that one go reach here.
Don't call nobody.
That one go reach here.
That person go come here.
Yes, right outside.
Hey, Robert like Bacchanal. Robert don't call no. Robert want to call woman name he was with on the show. Yeah. Good evening, caller. Welcome to the Feminine Drive. You're live. Good night.
Good night. I'm the first caller.
No, you're not the fifth caller. You're the first caller.
Okay.
All right. Four more mothers to go. The fifth caller wins a gift item from the cloth. So, Robert.
That answer question first.
No, I find you skipping. Don't call nobody name.
Oh, don't call nobody
right.
name. But
please, I beg you.
No,
so you was never involved in a relationship where the woman say, like you said, mommy's boy, everything is mommy.
No.
And as mommy
because
call you, you're gone and you run back.
That too, but also expect we were brought up. I still cook. I don't know if there's a way not to be feeding Etty Bebe by some.
What's that?
Etty Bebe. I was referred to I was referred to it recently.
You was referred to as a Etty Bebe?
A woman I'm seeing as I get an Etty Bebe, and the Etty Bebe I can't deal with you being Etty Bebe. Right? I don't know why I say that.
You don't allow me to hear that term?
I didn't know what it was. I feel Etty Bebe now saying it. My skin started to burn me. But I'm never
stole is a mommy's boy.
Never stole. But the thing is,
let me take a call. Good evening, Colin. Welcome to the Feminine Drive. You're live. Hello, caller. Hello. Good night.
Feminine Drive.
Yes, it is.
I'm calling. I'm listening to this show.
Okay, so you're caller number 2. You're the second mother to call in. So you have to be the fifth mother to call in to win the prize.
Alright, okay, fine.
Alright, thank you.
Have a blessed night.
You too.
Why didn't them call and then I choose a number after?
You're trying to run the show for me? Or?
Right, okay, sorry.
Right, okay. So, I believe though that a man who treats his mother well will treat his lady well, his wife well. I don't know, but that is my belief.
We have to work on, I kind of use words that people do, like sexism or male domination. Male domination exists the same way white supremacy exists.
Yes.
White supremacy exists and we call it racism. all white people are trained to practice white supremacy. All men are trained to practice male domination.
Okay.
So that means you have relationships with your mother where you feel that you want to be in control, or have assumptions, or because we were controlled by mothers as young people. We were controlled as who tell you you can't go outside, come off the thing, don't touch that fire.
But dad used to say too.
But in a house like mine, there was no daddy to say nothing.
Well, okay. Your home.
Right.
But I don't think that is true for all homes.
All right, but I want my house is
right.
So we will have a relationship with our mother as the first person to put limits to our life.
Okay.
And also the first person to fell in love with. The first woman we fell in love with was our mother.
I like that.
Right?
Yes.
But also the first person to put controls and restrictions in your life. But if you grew up as a boy and you're trained to practice male domination, to believe in your supremacy, and people talk about also finding in the Bible and all kind of thing, and in Shango Orisha business they talk about they give men space and give them privilege and all that. But that's men trying to extract space to behave how they want to do what they want and run the male domination.
And also that is restricted to a certain belief culture. Not everybody share that concept.
But the thing is, if you're practicing male domination and you get trained to practice male domination, and the person who has to do that work is your mother also, to train you to become he's a boy, give him the chance to do it. I tell him don't go outside, but he's a boy, let him go outside.
Yeah.
As a boy, let him do that. But also, we also were weaned early. You can't hold him too long because he's a boy.
True.
You can't be too gentle with him because he's a boy.
Don't cry.
Right.
He's a boy.
He's a cry. So when if you don't cry and he's a boy, or you get licks and you cry, what you figure I beat you so much. So even learn to restrict yourself as a person. You learn it, but also a threat of violence from your mother.
Oh God, that word violence.
No, serious. The threat of violence. If you get licks on your hand, and that's how that tender.
Do you have children, Robert?
No.
You don't have to. Because the next question I'm going to ask is if you just beat your children, if you just give them a little pinch.
Possibly. I didn't want to do that, so I work hard for that not to happen. Alright, okay.
I am about you.
Jump in. So back to, so if you have, we have a love, uncomfortable, nearly dislike for the person that took care of us earliest, because of the person who control you. Because soon a man get questioned in a relationship with a woman, hey, where you going? What going on? We ask me so much questions for.
Where's?
You think he's my mother or what?
Yes.
Right? And also,
that is true.
Also, the kind of level of disgust and rage that comes up. Right? That is.
Yeah.
Right?
But where did that start from?
Right. And where the response to violence towards women that happen presently, where women get killed, beaten, or whatever, or controlled. Where you going? You can't wear that. How you could be with me and you could wear that? How in God's earth or name I could want to have some control over somebody else's body, right?
But you're
is,
saying
who controlled me?
That's right.
Who controlled me?
That germinated from mommy.
Right.
She was the one.
But the thing is, that's the rule that they got.
Right.
So it's a rule.
But
so it's not a blame.
They did the best.
They did the best they could do.
Back then with the knowledge that they had.
But by knowledge they had. So male domination, we have to kind of practice, see how we can undo it. That doesn't mean that you make the boy or the man feminine. But we have to take away this thing. Because soon as a question that people say so happen. You want him to be gay, you want him to be not a man, you want him to have power. Power and male domination is two different things.
It's two different things.
No. Being a man and male domination is two different things.
It's two different things.
Right? So how do we get to have a continuous tenderness with women where we see you and all of a sudden we mightn't see it in our minds that you remind us of this early control, right? And we react to it.
But again,
and also what I'm saying too, if the person who was the caregiver who prevented you from showing emotions your ability to heal from those places got interfered with. So that's why when you ask a man, how he feeling? I don't know. I feeling nothing. Because to feel had a consequence.
Mommy.
Well, not only mom, their responsibility to society demanded, because if you don't do that job, you're questioned as a woman.
But you, within your home circle, you really didn't, you wasn't so restricted. You had a more liberal thinking mother.
Right, but still that doesn't mean the licks I get, or as my mother do it. But also the person who beat me in school.
Was that it?
Would have been women. Right? I get rulers on my hand with the blade this way. I get hit on my calf. Right? So I'm not just trying to explain what's happening now.
But still, we love our mothers.
Of course, we love
our mothers.
But until we work, we do that work, which is also.
So, are you saying, Richard, that
Robert?
I don't know why I keep calling
because
him
I have a brother, everybody knows Richard, and this boy don't exist.
That's not true. That's not true. Robert Young do exist. That's not
all right,
true.
okay. That's my family trauma.
Are you saying then, listening to you talk, now that you expect mothers to take a different approach?
No, not the mothers. The society has to take a different
No,
approach.
but I'm not going to the society. I don't want to swing the conversation so far. When I say I don't want to go into society, I don't want to come off track. I want to keep you there with your mother.
But the thing is, because I don't want, because people just ask, when the mother say, he's a good boy.
Yes.
But how she take how good boy? You ain't care about your child and things. I would say responsibilities go on this one woman who might have been 16 when she get pregnant, or 20, and who might have been raped, beaten, some uncle, some father, some stepfather, some relative interfere with, practice male domination because he figured that he has we have right to people in our homes.
But you cannot blame mothers.
I'm not blaming mothers.
Earlier you said male dominance.
Male dominance.
That was nurtured.
By
mothers.
The role that they got in society is to do this, because if you don't do it,
that is
you are
judged. Talking about.
Yeah.
Right. But
as a woman.
Right.
As a mother.
And then you are saying, even now, when you would have individuals who would do things against the law, and let's just say they end up on the bad side and they were killed, mothers will always say he was a good boy.
Because it was her son.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So this is my point. I'm trying to pull from you right through. At the end of the day, a mother's love, regardless of how you see it. And as a child, you didn't have that broad scope, that broad spectrum to weigh out all those things. Your mother did the best she could.
Yeah, she could, with the resources she have available. Right? And that is why sometimes the resources are available.
That's my point.
The resources available that come from the state.
I don't want to go by the state.
But because I don't want women to have the resources. We have to see it in a universal sense.
I want to stay home in the Young's house and look at the magic your mother did.
Right, but
with the little that she had.
Right, she did something so having
so that today your love for her.
I remember one time I asked her something about questioning her relationship with my father, and she said, "You see the life I had? You see the life I had?" She's asking you that as a child. Like kind of question, like I had a good life, and the things I've done is a lot of things I've done, right? And a lot of impact I've made. And it's not her boasting. So
she felt offended that you asked about your father?
Yeah, because also, for him not, the same way he wasn't around, she had space to do a lot more things that she would have had to do other than other women.
If he was there.
Other women. And also, if he was there, it would have been because when he was home, he was miserable.
Sad to hear that.
Miserable in the sense that he is home. He's tired. You can't make noise. My brother the other day spoke telling a story when he came back home, and he kind of say that he be making noise. He said, wait, he wasn't here. You can't say that. The next time I see my mother running around the place in the house looking like if she taking care of you, that can happen again, you know. And after the next day, he and his relationship shifted. He come and he talked to him, apologize for things, that. Like my father even said, whatever happened with me and you all is tragic, but I'm not apologizing for it.
Oh.
Right? It happened, it's tragic, it happened. The way it was, it happened because, but my mother found a way to say no about I wouldn't understand if she had we might have been different if she had him in the house.
You think so?
Yeah, because the space that she would have, my mother did all kinds of, my mother like build chicken coop, try to build wall, kill chicken.
She was the man and she was both male and female, both mother and father in the house.
She started a business in 82 called Market Basket. That we had a little chimney, a little Suzuki carry that we used to go and buy vegetables on Friday, Thursday night and sell it on Friday night. And then told us Saturday and then Sunday morning. Carry so people would come to the market thing and we would do that with her. She had set up all kind of business things. Tried attempt to do a master's, but this is in the 70s. She was doing that.
In the
70s.
Okay, I know you said your grandparents, your grandmother also.
But I never knew my.
You never knew your grandparents.
I knew my grandmother, my father's side, not on my mother's side. She died when I was in conception.
Okay.
Right, my mother. That would have been a hard year also, because at the same year, my father started the trade union.
So he was not wrong at all.
There was no wrong. So
let me ask you something.
A lot of losses for which I figure I carry.
You ever compare any female to your mother?
No, I wouldn't do that.
You probably wouldn't do it consciously.
I never did it.
You don't believe men make comparisons?
When I make up, I never compared any woman I saw with my mother.
You wouldn't
and
look
if I have to do that?
You wouldn't look at the certain qualities and you sure?
No, I didn't. I said I'm not.
Because it is said men, they look for their mother's behavior or qualities reflected in that woman.
Possibly the resistance to that, knowing that one time. So like how my father would have expected my mother to do things like food and thing. In my relationship, I cook.
Great.
I cook. And it's nothing to celebrate.
Of course,
you come to my house after last night. I was cooking. I cook like basdora, a garam masala, eggplant, a jira, kareli, a curry chicken with bodi and sweet peppers, and a sticky rice with coconut milk.
Robert, he's a good man.
That's a good man. That's because I think we saw that kind of fussiness that mommy had with. We call it mommy. We call it mommy. I don't know if you call that thing, but we.
You didn't want to put no woman through that.
So we said nah.
Yeah.
No.
I like you. Yes.
There was not a work.
You see all that foolishness that your mother went through.
Only moments, because he wasn't there all the time.
Right.
Whenever the weekend come or the period come, he come on this. But that was.
But I like that. I like that because you saw the bits and pieces of stress. I put in my own word that your mother had to go through when your father was in the house. You say, see me boy, I ain't putting no woman through that.
And it's not that he expected that, because he was a recluse in a way, and I'm talking about it Joe too much, right? Because Grace is a precious person, and I'm now noticing how precious she is maybe later than that, because I don't do. This Mother's Day fascination, and I think she understands it.
You're not into the commercialized business.
She understands it as a woman who was a person trying to think outside of the norm, that she didn't expect to be celebrated with things at that time. So she encouraged the commercialization of that. celebration, no matter my sister would insist and my brother would do it. So Richard will take mommy out for Mother's Day. I wouldn't go because
You're not into it.
I just felt that's a kind of mama guy business.
Well, no offense to those of you who celebrate Mother's Day and who choose to do all the whole 9 yards. Richard is just saying.
Robert
is just saying. Right there, Richard. But if Richard looking on
Richard, you can do a show with Richard. Richard,
I can do a show with Richard. Listen, I will get a joke about Richard just now. But what you're saying, I can't disagree with you. The commercial, is Sparrow. Sparrow is Sparrow, yes. Talk about, well, there are a lot of calypsos about mothers, and but Sparrow has one that I really, really love. Talk about how we treat our mothers, right? And when they transition, that is the time that we can't hold up. We want to throw ourselves down in the hole, and there's a beautiful calypso about that.
So like a friend of mine whose mother died a while ago, she said, Robert, please, don't let your mother die and you regret that you didn't spend enough time with her.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we could possibly do as a job, to do this Mother's Day thing, Mother's Day longer, spend time.
Appreciation with your mother, not just.
But also hearing a life story.
Yeah. Yes.
Hearing the hard spaces that you can't really belly, but you're adult and bigger now, you could possibly hear it. So her other loves in her life, who they were, her secrets.
Have that conversation.
Have that and a continuous thing, and I haven't been able to figure out how to do it yet.
Or after all these years?
Yes, because there is
have barriers?
There is to notice the gentle pieces, you have to notice the hard things.
Yes,
and
you
if
said
you
that
don't,
before.
and if you don't want to do the hard things, you wouldn't even notice the gentle
But you
things.
have to make a start, Robert. Mom is how old? 80 how much?
She's 86.
86.
And so yes, last time I dropped in my sister. Sister's who's slowing down, we have to see what's going to see her tomorrow. I said, okay, well, I'll do this. Nat King Cole 10 greatest hits. Put it up. She said, where you get this music? And I started asking her, okay, say, so this. So your mother, so auntie die, auntie this, then and somebody else. Because I heard the stories, but the stories was like, oh, what am I hearing? What is this? What is old people? Right, as a young person, you hear these stories
over and over.
And it's like new sons. As I talk to a friend, and he's my age, about it now. When his mother died, I think once his mother died on Christmas Day. So what he does for Christmas Day, he lights his whole house with candles. He spent his gifts to himself. He spent maybe thousands of dollars in candles.
Yes, of
big
connecting.
spending candles,
That's
and
his
they
way.
light and because his mother died on Christmas Day.
Tell me something. We're almost out of time.
Yeah, I mean, still not much yet.
What do you remember? It doesn't have to be as a child. Tell us a thing or two, a couple of things that really stood out for you in your life that you remember, boy, mommy was there for me. She did this for me. Give us a couple things. Might be plenty, but just a couple.
I remember having been hospitalized 3 times. I think I was hospitalized for this cut. I think I had pneumonia when I was a young boy, and that's a strange memory. Being in the general hospital and seeing her coming to me. I don't know if it was when I had this or if it was when I was younger, but it's kind of like a haze. But it's a good memory, but it's a haze of longing for her.
Wow.
Right? I tried to remember, and I spend a lot of time doing it sometimes. Maybe spend a lot of time crying about it.
Even in your old age?
Being a woman who's having a second child, mother died that year, moving from Port of Spain to the east of Trinidad to live in 1964. 64, 62. 62, she born in 60, she was in 62, 61, 63, so we might have moved up here. Having difficulties with that, realizing marriage is no longer the same way, and she's pregnant with me. And imagine what she was going through.
Wow.
And I pay attention to that and try to grieve that for her.
Oh. Wow.
Right?
That's, yes.
So, because I suspect I carry some of a hopefulness that her relationship with this male person coming to live in next where she's working in UE because she's so clico. I'm working at UE. And so a hopefulness for her relationship to be a whole relationship like every other woman that you might want
for their relationship.
Right? And knowing now it was never really. It was because my father died in our house, right?
Right.
So it was a full relationship that she had. And my sister would real beat me up like, why are you going to be putting you know that woman, you're opening your business, right? And I would always say say the things I would talk about only when she passes, the things I could talk about. But what that, I have a hopefulness, but also I carry a despair, and I don't know where.
So that is something you have to address, Robert.
Yes.
That is some healing that has to take
place.
place.
I do it. So I'm noticing it now in my relationships with women. There is a if I like you, if I feel like I'm in love with you, it is intense. So I had heartbreak since I was like 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's love strong.
Well, when I decided to do that, so there is a kind of I think I have to work through.
But why? No, that's who you are. What you have to work on.
No, but the thing is, you can't. I can't as a man carry this burden that might be part of her and part of maybe all women wanting and hoping. So ancestral. Then I carry.
You think you embody that energy? That's how you feel.
I carry that. I carry in her family. Like so my mother's husband died at 5 when my mother was 5. So that loss, that my mother would not have the time to pay attention to kind of unpack.
I understand.
I carry.
Robert, you wouldn't believe the hour don't fly already, you know. You wouldn't, according to you ain't seen nothing yet. Before the show started, he said, oh God, a whole hour. I said, boy, an hour will fly. Now look, the hour up, you know.
It interfered with my possible Friday evening.
I interfered with his possible Friday evening. Tell the lady don't vex with me.
Right. No.
Right?
There's nobody have. Other decisions
but
are made.
the possibility of things happening for the Friday, the Warrior interfere with that. I ain't like how that song,
I'm going to cook.
You going to man cook?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice man, you know. So, I really want to thank you for taking
cook for
time.
myself, though. Go ahead.
For taking time out of your Friday and joining me on the Feminine Drive. The conversation was really nice.
Right. Sorry for giving you a hard time.
No, you ain't give me a hard time, Robert. I kinda used to it, but you ain't give me a hard time. I particularly like the part you spoke about, you know, when you was hospitalized and you longed for your mother and you know you saw her coming.
But also what you trying to take this thing universal.
We out of time, you know. We will not move up and tell me.
Mother Earth.
Yes.
The longing, our what I call climate grief.
That's a whole next conversation that we're going to talk about next time. But that's the ultimate
because
mother.
if we don't cry for that one, we can't.
Exactly.
We can't do nothing. You can't even pick a big pampers if you're bringing your yard outside.
And that's a very good point that Robert raised there. The ultimate mother is Mother Earth. The ultimate energy of nurturing is Mother Earth. But as I tell him, that's a whole different conversation and interview for next time. So, we out of time. The hour fly again like real breeze. So, thank you again for joining me on the Feminine Drive. I ain't get the fifth mother to call in, you know. But don't worry, somebody go win that gift item. We go fix that on my page. Alright? So take care and see you next Friday on the Feminine Drive for next handsome guy. Yeah, this guy really exciting too. You don't want to miss next week. Okay, so take care and thanks again for joining us.